Okay, hi, welcome to the inaugural NUSCAS Podcast. Uh, with me here today are Nat and Greg,
Hello.
Hello.
and today we're gonna be discussing about Spring 2019, the season's anime. So before we go into the discussion, maybe we'll do a quick introduction of ourselves, of who we are. So
Sure.
I guess I'll start with me. Today I'm Gideon. Year two going to year three, psychology major, and animes that I'm generally anime that I'm generally interested in, I guess, are probably uh things. I think I watch a wide range of stuff, like from action to thrillers to more psychological stuff to even just slice of life, very relaxed stuff. I think it depends on the mood, I guess. Favorite anime, I guess, top three, I would say, Code Geass, Steins Gate, and Gurren Lagann.
Awesome.
Yeah, so maybe move on to let's go with Nat.
Okay, so I'm Nathaniel. People usually just call me Nat. I just graduated from NUS from life science. Generally, for animes, what I usually look for are things that I've actually read as manga or novels. So usually, if I see that they adapt it to animes, that's what I usually go for. In terms of the mangas and novels that I read, it's quite a wide range also. It just depends on whether or not I find it interesting and I start on it. And for my top three animes of all time, it is Code Geass, Gundam Seed, and Black Rock Shooter. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, then let's
And
move on
hello.
to Greg.
Yep. Hey guys, I'm Greg. I'm a year 3 going on year 4 linguistics major. And for me, I guess the kind of anime that I look for is usually led by a strong cast of characters. I can usually get by watching an anime if the plot is so-so, if the characters are strong enough to make me invested in them. So my top 3 anime will reflect this. I like stuff like Shinsekai Yori. I like Nagi no Asukara, as well as Yahari Ore no Seishun no Rakkon wa Machigatteru. Yeah,
okay.
that's the snafu for
the snafu,
English.
the snafu anime.
Yeah, the snafu anime. Yeah, so that's the kind of shows that I'm interested in.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, great. So with the introductions out of the way, why don't we move on to talk about spring season itself? So maybe you can start with some general impressions. What do you guys want to what general comments do you have?
Okay.
I think there's not that many sequels in this one, I think.
Yeah, there's Attack on Titan.
The biggest two are actually sequels though.
Yeah.
One Punch Man, Attack on Titan.
Oh, there's Bungo Stray Dogs as well.
Now that one's kind of under the radar kind of show, I think.
I watched the first season, half of it, but wasn't really my thing.
I watched 1 and 2. It was pretty good. I like that kind of show.
Yeah, I like the concept of Bungo Stray Dogs, where it's basically all these Japanese literature authors, right?
Yeah. It's not one of those shows that you can just binge watch though, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this season there was only 3 big ones that were sequels. I mean, there are other sequels around there, but they're not very popular.
There were leftovers as well. Shield Hero. I haven't actually watched that.
The Shield Hero, there was Dororo. Both of them
Dororo.
I was.
I haven't watched either.
Yeah. Would you consider Isekai Quartet a sequel? Is that
no?
I say it more like a spin-off.
Yeah, it's a spin-off.
Yeah. Right. It's not listed here for some reason, but on any chart. But there's JoJo's Bizzarre Adventure as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's still not done yet. Last episode is.
Yeah, it's continuing. I mean, it's in
last episode is in 2 days.
There are a lot of long-standing ones also.
Yeah.
It's in the continuing.
All right. But yeah, but the thing I don't know, my biggest impression about this season is that it wasn't as packed or has many heavy hitters as the previous
previous
season
season.
because I was really invested in the winter 2019. You had the Shield Hero, Promise Neverland, Mob Psycho, all those big names. But for this season, if you don't look at the sequels, you don't really have that many big stuff going on. And those that are popular, okay, let's say the most popular non-sequel, what is it? Kimetsu no Yaiba, Ufotable.
Yeah.
But I don't really hear many of my friends talking about it though.
Yeah, me neither.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this
I mean,
season
right after
feels okay.
Kimetsu, there is Kenja no Majo
Mm-hmm. That's
and
true.
Isekai Quartet.
Yeah,
For
I
me,
think.
I would.
Go
Gideon,
on, go on.
So for me, yeah, I would agree that the spring season wasn't that like did not really pique my interest. But at least for me, the last time I ever like invested in quite a number was actually fall of 2018.
Ooh,
So I
okay.
was interested in some of those because of the adaptations of like Goblin Slayer,
Yeah, Goblin Slayer.
Okay.
Incarnation
that
as
was
a
the
slime,
season. Nice.
Zombieland, all those stuff was quite
Oh
interesting.
yeah, that was a big season as well.
And any season that has a Overlord season.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, so it's this season as well. Isekai Quartet.
Yeah, I want.
Technically.
Technically.
Oh man, I'm looking at 42018 and you're right. There's like there was Seishun Butai Arrow, Goblin Slayer, there was Slime. That's when JoJo started as well.
Toaru
Oh my god.
too.
So online also.
Yeah.
Tokyo Ghoul for the people who still follow it.
Oh man, that was a horrible season though. That's not.
I couldn't. Yeah, I dropped Tokyo Ghoul after the first season. Like first season was like really good, and the second season was just oh my god. I was looking forward to it so much. It was like a double whammy for me because like I was looking forward to Out Noah Zero season 2 as well, but that was like disaster as well.
Holy crap! Oh well. But okay, back to this season. So, what are like some of the shows that you watched this spring 2019?
Okay, so I'm actually not very caught up with the season. I've only watched One Punch Man 2. Or not finished, but like about episode 10.
Okay.
I'm watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, like part 5, which is gonna conclude 2 days from the recording of this podcast.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I actually watched 3 episodes of We Can't Study as well.
Okay.
Which is
Did you like that?
Book. I think we can't. I don't know. Like how should I say this? It's like I think We Can't Study is kind of popular, like the manga.
Okay.
Like I've seen, yeah. But at least from the first 3 episodes, I think that it's not like say a particularly interesting show. I don't think it's bad or anything, but it's like nothing really like pops out to me.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's like very generic because it's not like it's like very like overused term, I guess. But I feel like at least from the first 3 episodes that I watched, I don't see like how it's like different from your usual sort of like comedy like styles, horror comedy size of life. It's okay though. Like it's like something nice to just watch when you feel like winding down, like just relaxing or whatever. That's
at least
okay. Awesome.
For me, I've completed We Cannot Study. I've out of the 4 that I've watched, I will rate that the highest actually.
Oh wow, okay.
But mostly because I do read the manga.
Okay.
So
is it faithful?
Sorry?
Is it good? Yeah, it's a good adaptation.
Yeah, it's quite similar to the thing. And I mean I did not so what I've actually read was mostly up to also where the anime ended. So it was okay for me. So I felt that like compared to other animes, like I guess you can compare it to stuff like what's that? Nisekoi, I guess. Or
okay.
To Love Ru. Those kind of one guy, many girls.
One guy, many girls. Harem.
Harem.
Each episode will be like a different day for a different situation and stuff like that.
Okay.
So but like, I find the characters in here nice.
Mm-hmm.
Not as detestable as some other
As
animes
To
might
Love
have.
Ru. My goodness. Oh, that was a piece of art. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
so
the
I
art
guess
is good.
Yeah.
yeah,
a
that
lot
is
of
good.
plot.
So I guess if you do read the manga and you do like the characters and stuff like that, you will enjoy this adaptation as well.
I see. But what's like the
Okay.
appeal of the show? Cause like I don't like based on like first few episodes, I don't really like, understand why it's so popular. Like what makes it like stand out from every, like other shows that are similar to it? Like at least
I
in
guess
your
I
opinion.
in my opinion, I feel like there's more progress.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's also faster progress in the characters and the development
Hmm.
and the connection with the main protagonist. So it does not feel as dragged out as some others. Yeah.
So like
Especially
it's
those
not
that
like Nisekoi where it's like a very delicate balancing game between like all the different goals all the time, when then like nothing moves forward at all.
yeah.
Oh.
The thing that I really dislike is when the things just stalls and stalls and stalls and there's no progress
for the
anywhere.
sake of just extending a story, right?
Yeah. I feel like I don't feel that way, at least when I watch
Mm.
it. I don't know whether it's actually is going, but at least the way that they did it, I did not feel that way.
Mm.
So that's why I felt that it was good.
I mean that's fair, yeah. I only watched the first 3 episodes, so I won't actually know. Like it's very hard, like you know that there's the 3 episode rule, right, to help you get an idea of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you know it's just not sufficient because the show can change a lot, like even after the first 3 episodes.
Has that ever happened to you before? Like the first 3 episodes, you didn't like it, then suddenly you liked it because of something that happened?
Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of something, but I think maybe I wouldn't say I didn't like it, but I would say
Mhm.
something like sorry, give me a sec, guys.
SAO? No.
Nah,
Oh, that's the
nah.
opposite.
Sorry, I need to
Okay.
I'll be right back.
I mean, there was one anime where I was like, I enjoyed the first 5, dislike the next 5. I
Oh,
enjoyed the
wow.
ending.
My goodness. They had you in the first half and then like
Yeah.
oh, what anime was that?
It was the Mage's Bride.
Oh, okay.
Mahosukai, because I felt it dragged too long. Like after a while.
Yeah.
Then
I watched the first season of it.
Yeah, so only at the end when they finally like admitted to each other, I was like, finally.
I totally feel you. I dropped it after like the first 13 episodes. But it was over 2 seasons, right? It was like 1 core, 2 core, yeah.
Yeah, I was like
It
come
was
on.
too slow. Yeah, they were dragging it too much. I really enjoyed the first season. It was honestly quite good, especially the first few episodes. Very very like magical, fantastical kind of thing, and the OP was great as well.
I like the ending because I wanted them to be together.
You
were
you're rooting for it. Rooting like 6 months for that to happen.
Yeah, but before that they were like fighting each other so many times.
My goodness.
Yeah. So that was one where it was good at the start, then it was like but came back at the end.
Okay, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. Yeah, generally, I don't know. Other than that, I can't really think of anything which I like. Let's say really liked early on and
I'm
hated
back. So sorry,
later
guys.
on. Quite hard to find such a thing.
Okay, so we episode rule. Okay.
Yes.
So like
episode rule.
I think for 3, like one show I feel like that really changed a lot. Like at least the way like I felt about it was Monogatari. That whole Monogatari series.
Okay.
I felt like the first
3 seasons.
The first 2 seasons actually were kind of like
2 seasons plus 1 movie.
Yeah, it wasn't like terrible or anything, but it's just like
It's just
it's okay. There were some episodes where it was really good, like specific episodes that peaked, like you know where like you have something interesting happened. Yeah, like Senjogahara and like Araragi Under the Stars and stuff like that, you know. But like I never really like got very emotionally attached to the characters or the story until second season.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's true. I've only seen the first season. So I'm not too sure. Yeah. But yeah, it's a very talky kind of show, right? Like just dialogue and dialogue.
It's not for everyone.
Yeah. Not for everyone.
So you've watched both seasons of One Punch Man. I mean, albeit the second one is incomplete, but Do you think it's shaping up to be better than the first, or?
That's a good question. So, Greg, what do you think?
Me, no, definitely no. Like, first of all, if we're just going from the OP itself, like it just gets smashed. Like you can't. I don't know. The first one is set up such a high level, but also given that they switched studios.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest concern, because like originally Bones was doing season 1, right? And then it switched over. Like this season is JC Staff, and JC Staff isn't actually like well known for like action shows and stuff like that. Like they're more of the slice of life sort of drama kind of studio.
But to their credit, they didn't do a bad job. I can't say that.
I feel like the animation for the first few episodes was pretty good. I wouldn't say as good as Bones, but I felt that it was I was impressed, I guess. Yeah, I was impressed by what JC Staff did. But I think the animation quality fell as the season progress, like the show progress. Probably because of like, when the season starts, the schedule gets more hectic and stuff. So
That's
that they front load the budget and they spend more time effort on the first few episodes, because you wanna like draw people in using the first few episodes. So it's understandable.
But if you're already like a die-hard One Punch Man fan, I don't think you'll mind that much. You'll enjoy the characters for what they are.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
Jokes, the gags.
Yeah, I think like there's probably two crowds who watch it: people who read the manga and people who watch season 1. Like those are the two main crowds. Yeah,
that's true.
Cause like,
did you read the manga?
I read the manga originally. But I stopped because I generally don't like to read manga for action shows or action titles. Because it's a lot more like animation just makes it.
See it in action, right?
Yeah. Rather than like try to imagine it. Because sometimes, I mean, like some like mangaka are really good at drawing the action out. But I guess One Punch Man wasn't like, I didn't feel that way for One Punch Man.
Oh man,
the art is good. But like it's not. Yeah, it's just my preference really. I would say that like for season 1, it was a very like, how to say, I don't think there was like very huge overall direction in season 1. But it felt okay. Like even though the thing was like very
it was like, an episodic kind of thing, like new monster every week.
Yeah, villain of the week sort of thing, and then like there's this like sort of plot that's building up in the background with like some villains who take like a few episodes, like the Deep Sea King, and then like having Boros come in later on, and I felt like that was still okay, because it presented itself in that way. True. But season 2 had this like overarching plot.
The monster association thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like
so I guess that's one thing that's better in season 2.
Yeah.
It was more
I guess
direction, I guess.
I guess it depends because like for Nat, who hasn't watched this show, right? Essentially like there's sort of a central antagonist for season 2. And I felt it was really weird because the way it was introduced is very very characteristic of how One Punch Man sort of introduces its plots, but it's just I think like you just have a random bad guy popping up and then like story happens. But it was really weird because you start the season with this guy. There's another antagonist called Garo, who's like cause like the show revolves around heroes, right? And he's like a sort of like anti-hero sort of character who hunts heroes.
If you're looking at the poster, it's the one with that silver hair.
Yeah, silver hair guy. So I
guess none of us actually seen the manga
for. I don't.
At least for the second season.
Yeah.
I've read like past second season, so.
So it follows.
I was a fan of One Punch Man before the anime, but I haven't caught up to like the most recent one yet.
Yeah, I mean the schedule is like not very like it's like once a month or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So the manga also has this central antagonist.
It follows the manga.
Does it feel weird as well?
Not exactly. I think the manga because it is a manga, they can pace it better.
Yeah,
like that's just the one of.
Yeah, cause like for like the like Garo, right? He gets introduced as this sort of like antagonist at the first episode and the second episode. And you sort of like have the idea that this is gonna be the big bad of season 2, and then suddenly this monster association plot just literally drops out of nowhere. Like literally just drops into the story, and then then Garo gets sidelined for up to episode 10, like for most of the season, which is like what was the point really if you're gonna do that? And yeah, that's maybe like my biggest issue with season 2.
Alright, so after listening to all of this, Nat, do you think you'll be watching One Punch Man season 2?
I will have to watch the first season first.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say the first season is worth watching just to watch those, like the animation is so good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really Bones really did a really good job for season 1.
It was such
The other
a
one you watched
cultural impact.
was... So the other anime that you watched was Attack on Titans, right?
Yeah,
you
that
say
one
about it?
I'm completely caught up to it as well.
I didn't watch. I haven't watched season 3. I'm only up to date to season 2.
Season 2, okay. Wait, Nat, have you watched Attack on Titan?
Just like the first...
The first
The
season.
first season.
Yeah.
Oh, the first few episodes of the first season.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm not sure. You have to word this very carefully without spoiling.
Yeah, it's always a bit hard to discuss. Yeah, cause like not everybody's caught
Given
up.
that it's like the third season or something.
Yeah, but that's the quite interesting thing though, because you guys definitely know like how big Attack on Titan like season 1 was, right?
Yeah.
Like, it exploded. Yeah.
And everyone was waiting for season 2 for like years, and
Yes.
then people
And then-
started forgetting about
Yeah,
it.
and then when it dropped, like people basically forgot about it, which is interesting because like I kind of feel One Punch Man 2 had the same sort of feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
waited like just a
it's
bit
not,
too long.
It's not very long as well for One Punch Man. So I think like 2 years maybe,
It was
3
2
years.
years only.
Yeah. So
Attack on
like
Titan was longer, right? Yeah.
yeah. So like then like wait, give me a sec. Yeah, it's like I don't think it's such a big thing for like people who regularly follow anime. Like you definitely watch it if you follow the seasons regularly. But like what I found interesting was for Attack on Titan and One Punch Man, it drew a lot of people who don't really watch anime to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, like I have friends who don't watch anime much who were telling me that they watched it. I was like, oh yeah, it was like okay, it's not too bad or blah blah, like whatever their opinion was. And then like second season drops, and then pretty much there's a lot less like fan foray over it.
I think it also depends on where you find them. Like for example, I have a friend who watched One Punch Man, but the reason was because I think she watched it on Netflix.
Right. Yeah, it is
okay.
available on Netflix. Only the first season.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge worldwide, just like how Attack on Titan was last time. I think part of the appeal was like the shock value of Attack on Titan last time. You know,
yeah. Because like
that first episode where he eats the mother and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And One Punch Man, it was the subversion of the whole hero genre kind of thing.
Yeah, it came out where like the superhero like movie trend MCU stuff was like in full steam. Yeah.
That's true. So yeah, they were like both very huge cultural impacts. Like if you go online, you watch like so and so reacts to anime, then these two will definitely be in
yeah.
kind of videos.
Man, react videos are like
it's fine.
Yeah.
The one I enjoy most is the one that the doctor reacts to the cells at work.
I mean like that makes sense, but it's like we have a random guy just like posting a video of his reaction. It's like I mean not like go ahead, but it's like I don't find that very interesting.
Yeah, where's the added value in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
The doctor's one interesting because like the doctor actually knows like about the cells and stuff. So it's like
Yeah, so he talks about it.
Yeah.
So Greg, you watch Kimetsu no Yaiba, right?
Me, yes. I'm caught up to Kimetsu no Yaiba even currently, like in the summer season, and
I
have to say
24 episodes, is it?
26, yeah. It's
according.
Yeah. So the first thing that dragged me into it was, of course, the Ufotable label.
That was yeah.
That's the first thing that usually drags people in. You know, they're known for their their unlimited budget works.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have to say that animation-wise, it doesn't disappoint. You know, but aside from the animation, because like you can go on and on about how well they animate things, but Kimetsu no Yaiba, it's really because I stated that I like series with very with characters that you can get behind. This one you have it's sort of a shonen shonen-esque kind of story, but with a very likable main character. Like, you don't really get that often these days. You have those typical isekai protagonists these days that can get very under your skin at times. But for this one, you have a very honest, down-to-earth main protagonist that you can sort of get where he's coming from. You can follow him as a character. It's very likable, and he has a very, very strong supporting cast. So that's partially the reason why I'm still currently following it, even up till now. And of course, I like my action, my historical
animation.
side of setting. Yes, of course, that, yeah. It's very, very highly recommended by Greg. Yeah. So have either of you seen like at least maybe 1 or 2 episodes of this?
Not at all, man.
For me, no.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
okay,
I just
then
assume it
definitely
was
have to
because
give it
like
a
there's
watch.
that whole like I don't know what's the name of the fox girl, but like nice when I
Okay.
see her fan art splashed around everywhere, I'm just like, oh, that's nice. I guess it's the waifu of the season, and then it's like,
Yeah. Oh no, this one has like
yeah.
waifu of the week kind of thing.
Oh my god.
No, yeah.
So it's like,
Oh, you mean the one with the thing in her mouth?
The thing in the mouth is the sister of the protagonist.
That's what I see around.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, what is the next big anime that we can talk about? What is something that you all have watched?
Let's see.
I've watched Isekai Quartet, I guess.
Okay, let's go do that.
Oh my goodness. Okay, sure. I watched one episode.
Most ambitious crossover.
Yeah, since Marvel. My goodness. So how was it? How was this masterpiece?
I mean, each episode is quite short. I mean, it's only 12 minutes.
Yeah, it's a short, right? Yeah.
Each. Yeah.
I
do enjoy. I mean, it was. Yeah.
What Isekai? I'll go on first.
Yeah, so it involves like characters from 4 different series. So there's Overlord, Tanya,
JoJo Senki.
JoJo Senki, which is there's ReZero and Konosuba.
Oh, okay, I watched everything.
At least, for me, I watched 2 of them, Overlord and JoJo Senki.
Okay,
so
I
do know
like Overlord.
I don't know the general idea of the other 2. I've watched 3 episodes of Konosuba.
Okay.
But I haven't started on ReZero.
Konosuba is the most chill experience ever, man. Like just sit down.
But all the characters are quite popular.
And get ready to laugh your ass off.
Yeah.
I mean, generally the show was okay. I rated it as fine. Mostly because I just enjoy like the characters from Overlord and JoJo Senki. But there's not really like anything that makes you go wow. That's just like
I think Isekai Quartet is sort of like it's fan service,
Yeah. It's fan service, yeah.
It's like nice fan service for people who like the shows that are involved in it. Like
so did you watch it just because of the fan service, just because they had all these big names in there?
For me, I just watched it because I want to see what they can do with the characters from like JoJo Senki in this thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because Tanya doesn't. Tanya is a weird fit, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you watch the other, like JoJo Senki's. I mean, like I guess Overlord is kind of dark, but it's dark in sort of the fantasy way. But JoJo Senki is dark in a more realistic way, so it doesn't. It's not really the same thing.
And Konosuba is just stupid.
Yeah, Konosuba is completely not in this category.
It's the opposite.
Yeah, it's the fun, fluffy thing to make things more positive in these 3 miserable shows. Okay, Overlord isn't very miserable, but ReZero and JoJo
the
Senki.
second least miserable? Yeah, you're just like...
I was also going into this wondering like when will each of them realize that they all are like reincarnated or transferred over.
Yeah. That
was some of the things that I was like looking when
you're waiting for that moment.
It's a really funny thing, right? Where it's like you're watching an isekai of isekai shows.
Oh, that's so meta. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was basically isekai. It's nothing much.
Yeah, it's nice.
I would say that just go watch the actual anime.
And if you like the characters, probably check out Isekai Quartet, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. What else do we have? Okay, we
At
discussed.
least for me, I've watched 2 others, so I think the next
Two
one
others.
would be
Okay.
Okay, so
in
yeah.
terms of popularity. I mean, we've gone through We Can't Study already, so the next one is actually Midara na Ao-chan wa Baekhyude.
Okay. So how was that?
It was not really that enjoyable.
Oh, not
But I went
as
through it.
much
I
as
just went
the
through it.
other Benkyo Deki show. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely cannot compare to that one. Yeah,
My
so
goodness.
I mean, this one has a totally different kind of reason why she can't study. So
I'm looking at the
Always.
tags. It's saying a romance, ecchi. Does it live up to the stereotypes of these kind of tags? The ecchi
in a
romance
way,
kind of.
yes.
Oh, so
But-
this is the other show that is Benkyo ga Dekinai. I was like, what's this
Okay.
other show that is can't
What's
study
this
as
other-
well? Like, is it a spin-off
Okay.
or something? And no, it's like something completely different, is it?
Okay, in terms of comedy, yes, they use quite a lot of comedy inside it.
Mm-hmm.
For the ecchi, it's actually mostly it's mostly not actually like played out. It's just fantasy of the main character.
Ah, okay.
TLDR
Yeah.
is go watch To Love Ru instead if you want ecchi.
Yeah. I'm looking at it.
The
It's
reason why I
spicy.
was too like into this is because like the way that they made her character was just a bit like, as you go on, it's like you just get frustrated with her sometimes, I guess.
Mm.
Like you like it's okay to have like that character as long as maybe like she progresses also, her character changes or grows to be nicer. But it feels like throughout the whole thing it did not. Like I was watching through the whole thing, hoping to see like some development or anything. Because
Okay.
in general, this one is about her and King Nomi Kijima. So I was like looking forward to some development in terms of that aspect, but there wasn't really much, at least I think, until like the ending of it. I'm not sure. I can't recall already. It was like I was like just
Okay.
want to get through it. But yeah, the main thing was that I just felt that the way that they made her character was just could have been improved. Like I can get the idea of the plot. Like the plot's fine. Like if they want to do about this character who has like a parent who does erotic novels and stuff like that. But the way that they made the episodes wasn't done too well. At least in my opinion.
True, that's true. I'm looking through some of the other series that the Silver Link has made, and some of them are actually pretty good. You know, like there's Kokoro Connect, there's Rakudai Kishi no Cavalry, which I kind of like.
It's everybody's favorite, Strike the Blood.
Yeah, it's like Strike the Blood.
I mean, in terms of like the characters and art, it's really nice. Yeah, it's just that the character. I don't know whether it's because of the manga itself. I did not read the manga, so
okay.
I don't know
didn't
whether
know this was a manga.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
yeah, Silver Link is actually pretty. I actually like Strike the Blood. Like, yeah, it's a nice popcorn show.
That's true.
I mean, I guess some respite is at least the opening was nice.
Oh, yeah.
The opening theme.
Like it's always
So
nice to have a
fine.
show, yeah.
But then after that,
yeah.
I mean,
what else do you watch?
anything else you want to say about this show?
Nah,
wouldn't
I
really
didn't
recommend
watch this.
show.
Yeah, we didn't
Would
watch
you
it, so
recommend
it's hard to comment on it. Yeah.
I mean, some people like it, I guess, but
from your review, I wouldn't watch it.
Neither would I.
For one, I'm not really. I get kind of impatient with some characters.
Okay.
I think that's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Especially when I feel like they don't make any when they feel very stagnant. Yeah.
Basically, there's no progress.
The last show that I watched was actually Sarazanmai, which was also the first anime of this season that I watched and finished. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's like not.
Do you know about this
at all? Yeah, I've never heard of this. What is this about?
The
Kappas.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it generally revolves around kappas.
Kappas?
Kappas. Oh my goodness, like the Japanese little frog thing.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Okay.
How do you come to like watch this?
I like
show?
the splash art though, like literally splash art. Yeah, it's nice.
Okay, the thing that made me start watching was apparently I actually didn't even know about this one until suddenly when I was going through like some random forum, then I suddenly see that people talking about how the main character actually cross dresses
Okay.
as an
Okay.
idol.
Okay.
In here, I was like, okay, I just gotta see what's this all about. So that was how I actually started.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Cross-dressing always brings in the boys.
Yes.
Short
It's-
moments of
I always,
Stoffel.
I always find these kind of animes interesting. So that piqued my interest definitely. So that was how I started.
Okay.
See how
These kinds of
it came
anime.
about. Yeah.
Nice.
But it was
nice,
quite
nice.
interesting actually. I quite enjoyed this. This was to me it was very good. Yeah.
Oh,
Especially
okay.
it was original.
Oh, okay. It's an original.
Yeah, it's original.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which studio did this? Oh, it's Mappa. Okay.
So what's the story like generally about?
I guess the three main characters meet this Kappa Prince
Mm-hmm.
and they go about doing his doings. Yes.
Okay.
They go about fighting some bad guys
Oh, okay.
inside there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Power Rangers, but kappas.
Power Ranger Kappas.
But what was
Nice
interesting
summary.
was what was interesting was the way that they did it.
Mhm.
So like it felt like after every episode that you watch, you
Mhm.
learn something new.
Mm.
And there's
Okay.
like a twist
Oh, okay.
every single time at the end of each episode. Which makes you
Ooh,
really
I
want to
like
watch the next one.
a
and
twist.
also
Nice. Okay.
It also changes. It makes a very interesting story.
Oh, sounds
So
like.
like what you sorry
Uh,
sounds like what?
sorry, sounds like a bit of a nightmare to watch weekly though. Like every week you're like, oh, cliff.
Yeah, I mean that
Yeah.
was how because I
Yeah.
watched it straight on when like, each episode comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's done now,
Right.
so I guess like there isn't that problem anymore.
yeah, you won't have that problem. It's just that like because okay, it's like maybe you thought this character was like something like it was like this kind of character,
Hmm.
but actually it turns out it wasn't.
Ah, okay.
Or like they throw a bit of it, like the person's one of the characters' history and stuff like that. Then you learn something new.
Hmm. Okay.
Or like something that you
That's
thought you knew, your impression changes.
Hmm.
So it kept going this way. So it was very very interesting.
Hmm.
I guess it's more on the mature side. I guess it's not really those like really like happy go lucky kind of.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
There's
I
not
wouldn't
look.
thought
Yeah. I wouldn't have thought of that based on the.
It's from
the
the poster there.
yeah, I
That's
know.
crazy.
There's comedy inside, but it's not really
Hmm.
like it's more on the dark side.
Oh, okay.
But I guess it's more on psychology.
I can appreciate
Yeah.
some dark humor.
Awesome.
So yeah,
Wow. Did not expect that from a show about Kappas. Yeah, I might check that out.
Okay.
But you recommend it, is it?
You
yeah, I
recommend
would.
it? Over the other Benkyo Dekinai show.
Yeah, I would also recommend it if you like enjoy the character, at least the art also. This one was more of like it was the story that really captured me for this one. And they do sing a lot in this show.
They do.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
songs
That's
inside.
awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
if the main character cross dresses as an idol, that makes
As an
sense.
idol, yeah. They better sing.
Yeah, they better be singing.
Each of the individual characters also quite like unique.
Okay. Speaking of unique individual characters, I'm going to talk about Bungo Stray Dogs. This is actually like one of the series that I actually do like quite a lot, but I don't have many friends to talk about with, because it's kind of those shows that's slightly under the radar. Like you sort of know about it, but people tend not to watch it for whatever reason. I have no idea why.
I'm actually really surprised it got a third season.
Yeah, I'm so surprised as well. Like just going from popularity, like it's not really one of the most popular. If you're going by tiers, like tier 1 popularity, you have those One Punch Man, Shingeki no Kyojin kind of thing.
Kind of feels like a tier 4.
And yeah, this one is like tier. Yeah, it's like one of the bottom tiers already. Okay, maybe above like the other Dekinai show, but
yeah,
that's about it.
Midara Deki, whatever it is.
Awo-chan, whatever.
Awo-chan can't study.
Yeah,
maybe
that's
this is
tier
like one tier above
unheard
that as
of.
well. But I would definitely recommend this series to anyone who likes interesting kind of character interactions. It also appeals to sort of the seinen crowd because it's slightly darker, but also not too dark. So it appeals to both seinen and shonen, in my opinion, because there's quite a fair bit of action in it. The plot behind it's not too hard to follow. It's basically about 3 different gangs in a war, and each faction in this gang war has people with special powers who use these powers to fight each other in very creative ways. So it's very, very interesting show, in my opinion. Definitely have to watch it. It has great OP and ED as well. I'm looking at Studio Bones is a very, very big studio.
Yeah. Bones needs
stuff
no introduction if you're into anime.
It needs no introduction.
Yeah. But if you're not into anime, Bones is really very famous for very good animation.
Very famous. Made stuff like My Hero Academia, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, stuff like that. Very big.
Yeah.
I
remember why I dropped this show actually.
Oh, why?
Because I told you just now, I watched half of the first season. I think it's because the tone was very inconsistent.
Okay.
In the
sometimes
first
it was
season,
serious. Sometimes there was some weird humor.
Yeah, so there's serious moments, and then immediately after there's humor, which really detracts from the serious stuff. Reminded me a lot of Akame ga Kill. If you watched it.
I get where you're coming from. Yeah, I've watched. Okay. And so it could be a hit or miss kind of thing. I guess it missed most of the time since people don't really watch this that much.
Yeah, I really like the idea though, with it revolving on Japanese literature authors having special powers based on what they wrote. That's definitely really cool. And the characters were actually not too bad. What's his name? I still remember. I think Dasai, is it?
Oh yeah, Dasai. That's the best boy.
Yeah, it was pretty fun to watch as a character, but I guess it's I didn't actively drop the show. It's more I just was there's I had to wait 1 week for another
really
episode.
hooking you in.
Yeah, and then you just forget about it, and then when it's done, you're I'll watch it some other time, and then
Okay, then you never want. Yeah,
sounds like me and Konosuba.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, that's
I can't remember when I watched those 3 episodes.
My goodness. Okay.
So I guess maybe I can talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure as well, even though it's not listed here, because it's been running for 3 seasons straight. It's 39 episodes. Part 5. Did either of you watch any JoJo's Bizarre Adventure before?
I have never watched a single JoJo's episode in my life, which I don't know. It might be sacrilegious as a anime viewer.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Yes.
I actually think JoJo is really famous, but it's a bit hard to get into because the first cause JoJo is sort of divided into parts. So there's 8 parts, and currently the current adaptation is part 5, and each part is follows a different JoJo per se. So every main character is called JoJo in some form, and it follows this this family called the Joestar family.
Okay.
And every protagonist in each part is somehow related to the Joestar family, a part of the Joestar family.
Oh, okay. But each story per season, it doesn't necessarily follow one another?
Yeah, I would say that only parts 1 and 2 have a direct link to each other.
Okay.
And then part 3 onwards, right, it's a lot more loose. You have recurring characters from previous seasons and stuff like that, but there's a lot of time jumps and stuff where part 1 is in the early no, not early, maybe mid 1850s.
Okay.
And then part 2 is early 1900s, World War One time, World War Two-ish. And then when you jump to part 3, it's way into the future, 1970s. And then all the way now until part 5 is currently in 1999.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so for someone like me who has never watched a single JoJo episode, can you summarize what kind of show it is?
No, I can't.
You can't. Oh, it's an experience.
It's difficult. I mean, I can't really summarize the whole show.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can part by part I can summarize, but
okay. Let's go with season 1 first then.
Okay. Part 1 is a very traditional sort of good versus evil kind of story where there's the knight in shining armor who rides in to rescue and save the day, that kind of thing, where he fights the the big bad guy. And I think
Mhm.
like part 1 is probably the weakest one out of all the parts. Cause like
Okay,
there's like it's called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because like a lot of weird stuff happens. Yeah, things that you would not
Sure.
expect. And
Mhm.
and I would say that yes, there's a lot of weird things that do happen in season 1. Like you have like, for example, one of the enemies that like the JoJo part 1 fights is actually a vampire version of Jack the Ripper. And
Okay.
like this Jack the Ripper attacks JoJo, right, by
Mhm.
by hiding inside of a horse. And like they are
Okay.
riding on this wagon, right, and the horse, and he just emerges from this horse all of a sudden, like, you know, stuff like
Oh
that.
man, this is giving me some Gintama vibes.
Yeah,
You know, like
I didn't watch
ridiculous
Gintama, but
stuff.
yeah, I would. Yeah, I know Gintama is pretty well known for its comedy, so
Okay.
like it's done. There's a bit of like, how to say it, like a Victorian sort of horror vibe to it, I guess. Like the
okay,
first one,
okay.
because it revolves around vampires. Yeah, and then
Awesome.
the second part is where I think like the show really starts to, or the series starts to hit its stride, where you get a lot of
Mhm.
like very very creative sort of combat scenarios and tactics. Cause like I mean it's a battle shonen now, so like it's gonna be a lot of fighting.
Mhm.
And season 1 was like pretty standard, but season 2, like with the new JoJo that gets introduced, right, you see like this character is more of a, like the first JoJo is like sort of like the gentleman knight sort of kind of archetype, while
All right.
season 2 has the JoJo of season 2 is like more of a trickster, relies on a lot of like various tactics, distraction and stuff like that to fight like his enemies. And it's very
Okay,
fun
okay.
because you don't like it always keeps you at the edge of your seat or on your toes, like to see what he thinks of next. And there's a lot of ridiculous stuff as well. And I think like that sort of theme starts to continue on into like the following parts, but it's like,
Okay.
yeah, it's like difficult. It's very difficult to sort of summarize the whole thing as a whole,
Summarize,
because
okay.
especially since because in parts 1 and 2, right,
Uh-huh.
the powers, like the powers that are used in parts 1 and 2 are called the Ripple or Harmon in Japanese. And
Okay.
this Harmon thing pretty much just gets discontinued in part 3 onwards.
Oh, 3
Yeah.
onwards, 4. There's no.
Yeah, part 3 there's
power
still
thing.
still a bit of Harmon, because like the characters who carry over who use Harmon previously. But
Okay.
after part 3 onwards, they switched to this new system called stands. I've probably heard of them before.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's a lot more, I think it's way more creative, and it was definitely a good move. But yeah, like the whole show sort of like changes. It's sort of like the feel and identity. And actually that is sort of the thing about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Each part is distinct from each other in the way that
Okay.
it feels, because the author, like the mangaka, takes a lot of liberty in like just changing up the story to make it like creative and more interesting. And stands are a really good addition, because like Harmon has this sort of like the typical battle shonen problem where, you know, escalating power levels like you see in Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like you can't, like it's difficult to come up with a compelling protagonist when all you need, when like it just becomes a like endless, like, you know, like you see in Dragon Ball Super,
Power creep kind of
Super
thing.
Saiyan 1, 2, 3, 4,
3,
that sort of
4,
thing. Yeah,
God, yeah, blue. Okay. I
but
get it.
stands
So,
revolve
yeah.
more around like very specific abilities, and like they start out not like as like super interesting, because I think like the manga was still like Araki, the manga was still like experimenting, where like the first few stands you get introduced to are like, you know, like the main characters like Jotaro,
Okay.
like probably one of the most famous JoJo's, is like his stand can punch very hard and very fast, and that's pretty much it. But when you move on to like the later parts, you get really creative stands, like say in part 4, there's a stand that's literally a lock.
A lock.
Yeah, it's not like a human or anything. It's a lock that operates. Yeah, it's a bit of a, it's more like really mild spoiler, but the lock sort of operates on a person's guilt.
Okay.
So like the more guilty a person feels, the heavier it gets. So it's like, you know, so like the whole dynamic changes.
Oracle.
Yeah, in the battle, where it's like you're not actually like physically fighting. You're sort of like you win by making the person feel like person feel guilty. Yeah. So like
that sounds hilarious.
really interesting later on, and even in like part 5 right now,
Part 5. Yeah,
yeah.
so how do you feel about part 5, like in relation to the other seasons then?
Right. I think part 5 is it's a hard one, but part 5 might be my favorite so
It
far.
might be a favorite. Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
It's
What makes
just
you say that?
really good. Yeah, it's just like I feel like it's sort of like the combination of that
Okay.
that like of the writing of JoJo so far. Like, you know, because you
Mhm.
see, you can like if you look at it and compare the various parts, right, you can see like how the mangaka was experimenting and trying out many different ideas. And I feel
That's
like
true.
part 5 is where a lot of it comes together, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from the way you're talking, I assume you follow the manga?
Actually, no.
Oh, you
Same
don't?
reason as why I
Okay.
don't read the One Punch Man manga.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I would recommend that. I mean, JoJo is pretty long now. When I first watched it, it was when only the first 2 seasons, like first part 1 and 2 existed, so it was just 20 plus episodes. So like
Oh,
getting into it was
okay.
easy because like I don't have a huge episode wall. Because it's like part 1 and part 2 are like 26 episodes. Part 3
That's
is
true.
like 50 episodes.
Oh, whoa, wow. Okay.
Then part 4 is 39 and part 5 is 39. And
Oh,
I would say that if you want to watch, right, I would definitely recommend
Mhm.
you watch from the beginning. And like
From the
part 1
beginning,
is
okay.
kind of like mediocre compared to the rest, but it's worth like getting through those first like 10. It's only 10 episodes or 9 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, like getting through that first stretch, and then when you hit part 2, you feel the series hit stride, and you can tell whether or not you actually like it. Like if you like part 2,
Okay.
you will probably like everything else, and vice versa.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Of course, if
Nice.
you could also just a bit more, where like you could also watch them alone, like, you know, because the parts aren't like, say, like directly related to each other for most of them.
Okay.
But I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, because there are callbacks to different parts, and that there are still some links. So
Awesome.
yeah. Okay. Sorry, that took up a bit of like, yeah.
No, it's fine. It's great. So Nat,
so-
would you be watching JoJo after this amazing review?
Not anytime soon.
No, yeah, I'm not gonna sit
It's
down
long. It's long. It's
for like
understandable.
100 episodes. Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it though. I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Mm-hmm. So some of
Okay.
the other smaller things that I've watched but have not completed include Fruits Basket, which is actually a remake, I think.
Yes.
It's one of those very, very light slice of life kind of comedy, romance kind of shows.
There was one Fruit Basket before this, right?
Yes,
Mhm, it was a
2001.
big one. Yeah.
So this is
Have you watched that?
No.
I did.
Okay.
This is the reason
Okay.
why I have this version as a plan to watch.
Okay.
I did enjoy the original one.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it with my family.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Wow.
I know that the fan base behind this is like pretty strong. But I have not watched the original one, unfortunately. But then the new one, I've watched about 3 or 4 episodes of it, and I like it thus far enough to want to continue it. So I will see where that takes me.
Okay.
I mean, it's an interesting story about people who can transform into.
Oh yeah, the different animals in the zodiac. So like, yeah, that's the basic plot point of this. It's like the main characters are like embodiments of the different animals of the Chinese zodiac. So you have like the rat, you have dog, stuff like that. And their personalities sort of reflect these
Like the animals that
characters.
they can transform into.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Is this a remake? Or is it like
It
I don't
is
know.
a remake. Yeah.
So it's
I
a
think
remake
that's
of the
like
original adaptation.
of the original series, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if the original series is like adapted
I don't know
from
whether
like
they
a
are
manga or anything.
the same.
I think Fruits Basket. Yeah, there is a manga for Fruits Basket.
Okay, so it's an adaptation of an adaptation. Nice. That's awesome.
It's a Fruits Basket remastered.
I mean, I would feel like this is more catered for shoujo lah. So, but yeah,
I mean,
they like this kind of story revolving like
a girl with many
people
guys,
with
the reverse
power.
harem. Yeah,
Like
it is actually
another series that I can relate, like that is similar to this, I feel, is like Fushigi Yugi.
Fushigi Yugi. Okay,
Do you know about that one?
I have not watched it.
I don't know what Fushigi is actually.
Oh, that one's about like a girl who will be a maiden for like a certain god, and she will have like 12 people with special powers that are like the followers. Yeah.
Oh my
They
goodness.
will have to find all of them. So it's like it's also the same thing. It's like a group of people.
Okay.
Like for Fushigi, in the case is each of them has special powers. Like, but for Full Bracket, each of them can transform into a different animal.
Yeah, okay. I can see how you drew the parallel there.
But yeah, I mean, I think Full Basket, at least from what I know from the original, it's very slice of life, and it's just very nice to just watch.
It's just one of those chill anime, just put down, sit back and relax, maybe a few laughs here and there, stuff like that. Okay, yeah. Rating's pretty high. Like on my anime list, at least it's like above 8, so it's got to be worth something, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you hear about Fruits Basket every now and then, like even before like this remake. So, and you don't hear bad things, So it's like,
Okay, that's awesome.
Okay, so speaking of bad things, why don't we talk about stuff that we don't like?
Stuff we don't like. Okay, dang. I guess I can start off with a few that I didn't like, but these might be some cop-out ones. Of course, we've already talked about the Benkyo Dekina, but I didn't watch that. We have Nande Koko ni Sensei ga exclamation mark and question mark. It's one of those shows. It's one of those.
Oh yeah, okay. It's one of these shows.
You have to scroll on quite a lot.
I see. Yeah,
it's just pure fan service kind of thing, and it wasn't even good fan service. Like I think the one I watched, it was censored.
Oh my god!
You couldn't enjoy it as much.
You couldn't even enjoy it.
Oh my god! It's number 2 here. Apparently, this like shorts list is not very.
Oh my god!
The shorts are not very good because like Midara, Ao-chan wa Benkyo Dekina is like 3rd here.
Yeah, I actually
the scores, is it?
Oh, the scores.
Is it? Are you looking by the scores or?
Oh no, by the popularity.
I'm looking at the score.
Oh, popularity.
Yeah, I'm on my anime list.
6.66
here. Okay.
I mean, I've seen the manga. I guess.
Yes, I've seen the manga as well. Well,
I mean, it was okay because like once one like arc is done, they go on to the main character, so it's okay.
It's just
go on, but I'm not sure about the
I might have liked it more if they had a compelling main character, like whatever that means for this kind of series. But yeah,
the only thing compelling.
No, it does matter. It does matter. Liking the main character is important for them.
For this kind of thing, this kind of like new girl of the week, or maybe harem kind of shows, actually kind of so like liking the main character, someone that you can at least maybe sort of relate to in a way.
Basically, not a self-insert, I guess.
Yeah. This is horrible.
Those are the worst. Yeah.
Not well done at all.
Like at least make it a power fantasy, like that's better than self. Like something like Kirito is way better. Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely liking the character, especially like if the reason why I don't like Ao-chan is because the character is just insufferable.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess it's also the mindset of the character. Because like for Ao-chan is like, I mean, sure, because of her dad, she thinks a lot of perverted thoughts. But like, it's the way that she thinks it. So it's like she'll think a lot of dirty thoughts. So everyone else must have the same mindset as her. I guess that's what is trying to portray. She showed like the way that she shows her character. That's what I felt. And that if she's the only one that's thinking that way, like when she realized that she was only the one doing that, then how dare the other person lead her on into thinking those perverted thoughts. So it's like that was what really made it kind of frustrating. So like when you really can't really get behind that character, sometimes it's painful.
Oh dang, that's horrible. Okay,
but for the anime for Nande Koko Sensei, given that like from the manga you see that there's multiple characters, does it do the same? So like you go from one character to the next, or does the whole series only revolve around like the first arc?
Oh no, it does go through quite a few of the characters. There's like the main teacher, of course. Then it moves on to like her colleague. But yeah, I don't think let me check. It's like 8 minutes kind of series, one of those
okay.
kinds. Yeah, okay, 10 minutes. Yeah, it wasn't really. They don't really flush it out enough. It's basically like taking a couple of panels from the manga itself and then just trying to work from there. So it's just terrible. No other way to describe this.
If you just want to enjoy the art, just read the manga lah.
Let's read the manga. The manga's better. This kind of series, I think, is more well done in the manga. But okay, speaking of bad series, earlier on, before we started recording, you were talking about Fairy Gone being something that dropped off very heavily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What did you hear about it?
Especially given that it's one of the very popular ones.
Mm-hmm. It's a big studio as well, right? PA Works.
PA Works is big.
That's crazy.
Like the number of members on my anime list that has it on the list is like 8,000.
Oh dang.
The issue is that 18,000 of them dropped it. That's like 10% of the people.
Oh my goodness.
Personally, I didn't watch it, but like from
Okay.
what I heard about it, I guess like the reason that some people really didn't like it was they felt like it cut off too prematurely.
Okay.
Oh my god, this is season 2 of this.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
so
what?
I think they really they had that in mind already. That's why
Okay.
they made the first season that way, but it was kind of bad. Yeah, like because they knew already that they had a second season. That's why they just cut stuff in the first season. But given that they did it so badly, it's like people wouldn't even want to watch the second season, I guess.
Actually, what is Fairy Gone about?
I mean,
Going by the synopsis, it says, "Once upon a time, fairies were tools of war." Okay.
yeah, so like it's interesting, very very interesting. So like the preface and the potential plot that you get from seeing the thing is quite interesting. And
Sounds
I think
a bit like Guilty Crown.
the animation, because I mean, given the studio, is good, and so is the music. But I think it might have gone too draggy every episode. So like,
yeah, I'm getting
I guess
Guilty
a
Crown
lot of
flashbacks
dialogue.
right now.
There's a lot of dialogue inside the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking through like all the reviews at the bottom, and it's quite reflective of what you're saying right now. People are really complaining about the story not being good, dropping off after a while. It's a pity, just from such a large, successful studio.
Yeah.
So I guess the problem is really that there could be so much more from it. I think people were expecting a lot from it. It just fell from that aspect.
Okay, that's true.
That's
true.
sad. Yeah, that's sad. Oh, it looks nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
Yeah.
That looks nice.
It is nice.
It's like everything but the story is good. God damn it.
My goodness.
That's the worst there. Like, oh my god, there's like so much wasted potential.
I mean, if you look at like popularity also, Kenja no Mago is also up there, guys.
What again?
Kenja no Mago.
Another isekai.
Yeah, it's another one of those isekais. I'm just disappointed that they adapted this before others, because this I felt was one of the not so good ones.
Oh damn! Oh, so you've watched this series?
I've read the manga.
Oh, you've read the manga. Okay.
The thing is, I dropped it.
Oh no!
Oh. Yeah, drop.
Because I felt
not
like
even drop the show. It's drop the manga.
the protagonist is OP. I just couldn't really like see how it could like spice up the plot. It didn't feel interesting.
Formulaic, very generic.
Yeah, so that was like my issue with this series.
So it didn't really like get behind the main character.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't interesting enough for it. Yeah.
Oh well.
I mean, I had it on my plan to watch, even though I dropped it was because I see.
Yeah.
If the animation could at least do it any good, like at least make it interesting. But I don't know about it. The scores don't really reflect well for it either.
Yeah, I mean, with all these isekai series, like that tends to be a pattern most of the time.
Apparently, the towns are also exactly the same.
Wow.
My goodness.
But they did a comparison of like I think Konosuba, Kenjang no Mago, and another Shiu. The town looks exactly the same.
Oh shit!
Can I borrow your
That's
homework?
amazing. Oh yeah, like that meme.
Yeah. My god.
My goodness.
So I guess we are looking at in general all the series of Spring now. Now that
I
we
guess
talked
we
about
can
all
talk
those that
about
we
yeah. I mean, like we've talked about everything we've watched already, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we can move on to like any shows that we missed out on watching that we're interested in watching.
Are you interested in Senko-san?
Senko-san, okay.
Senko-san, where is it?
Why?
Because it's cute.
Okay, that's a good
Okay, it's this. Okay.
Yeah, it's
yes.
about that fox.
Yes.
Fox one. Okay. I don't have anything off the top of my mind, but while scrolling through the list, I see like another like Bones one called Carol and Tuesday.
Carol Tuesday is something that I want to watch.
I have no idea what this is about. It looks
You
like
should. It's
like Shigatsu no.
it's quite interesting because like I know I went through the synopsis and I watched the trailer is really good. So
Okay.
I'll link it to you later. You can watch it. You'll probably may want to watch the show, but
like the ratings look high. It's by Bones.
Yeah.
There's this girl with a guitar. It looks great.
Yeah. So it's
I've never heard of it.
It's about
it's also technically the most popular original series.
Oh, okay.
Because Isekai Quartet doesn't count.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it like takes place on Mars, where
Ooh.
I think like being a musician is sort of not a thing anymore. But then like there's these two girls who want to be musicians and then like they meet each other and then they start like a band together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that
sounds very sweet.
Story.
Okay. So is it like supposed to be like a feel good kind of thing?
I'm not actually sure, but
okay.
I've heard the music is not bad.
Okay. That's good enough for me. I like
the
music.
trailer looks great, so probably it's Bones. The animation is great. It's gonna be great. Yeah, I would want to watch Carol and Tuesday. It's still airing as well.
As for other animes, I've heard a bit of Hitori Bochi, I guess.
Ooh, okay. What's that about? Being lonely?
It's about this girl who has this anxiety.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I've seen it around, like just the comedic snippets of it, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's from a 4-coma manga. Okay, so I'm guessing without looking, it's gonna be one of those very short, like 8-minute kind of shows. Oh no, it's not. It's like a 23. It's a full episode kind of thing.
Show, yeah.
Oh wow, how do you do that with a 4-coma manga?
One comma every 6 minutes.
1 comma every 6 minutes. Okay, I know the Working series was also like a.
Oh yeah, Working.
I love Working.
Working series.
Working is nice and chill also.
What else? There was actually something something else that I watched, but I didn't really want to admit. But it was the Araya-san thing. But I don't know.
You don't want to admit.
Yeah.
I mean, I have that on plan to watch.
No. You don't it's just one of those like. I mean, in the recent years, they've been releasing those like R-rated series, like half hentai kind of shows. But
with a
plot. This one wasn't even a good one. Yeah, this wasn't even a good one. Yeah, don't bother. I didn't watch it. I'll just say I didn't watch it. Even though I did. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna cut it out.
I mean, apparently my mom watched.
Wait, what? Your mom?
No. I seen two animes from this season. Just not that.
Oh, okay. Wait. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was talking about that. You said apparently your mom watched.
Right.
She watched the Senko-san and Kono Oto Tomare.
Okay. Awesome.
So Kono Oto Tomare is about Koto, so it's music related anime.
Okay.
So I guess that was what interested her. I think she did that.
Platinum Vision. Oh, the vibe is like. It's like she got to the line in April, but and he became.
I don't think my mom will watch that though.
And he became crossed. Like cause it's so many.
She doesn't like sad anime.
Oh man, speaking of HBK though, KyoAni.
KyoAni. Oh, rip KyoAni.
Yeah.
So our thoughts and prayers go out to KyoAni. You know.
Feels bad.
I mean, I have
don't know about it.
Shometsu Toshi on plan to watch, but I don't know given that it's so low rated. Yeah.
Oh well. So if there's nothing else, maybe we can move on to the summer
Yeah, like
2019.
You know the OP AD?
oh yeah, OP.
OP and ET.
Anything that caught
okay.
your interest?
All right. If we're gonna talk about OP and ET, yeah, of course, we must always have JoJo.
The openings are really good.
Yeah.
They just like it's not like right off the bat like you know like if you watch what's the shows like anything that has Sawano in it like Sawano's music where it's like very bombastic and like straight away like oh yeah this is good. It's like sort of like the openings where as you listen you like it more and more kind of thing. And the EDs are all, like the EDs are like always English songs. Apparently, yeah,
okay.
like first one was Roundabout by Yes. Like they're all like 80s, 90s soft songs or maybe even like older. Cause like apparently the song that they play at the end, like as an ED, right, is the song that the mangaka was listening to while he was like drawing.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
From what I heard, it's really cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I really like the OPs and EDs for this like for part 5.
That's awesome.
Okay,
I really like the ending theme for Sarazanmai. So it's Stand By Me by the Peggies.
Okay,
like, it just gave me like they gave me the vibe of like Nano Rip. Yeah, like the voice. It was a very strong, like emotional song. So,
okay. That's awesome.
Opening theme is Masara by Kanabun, but I don't really have much to say about that one.
It's pretty big. Yeah.
Kanabun is pretty popular. They did Silhouette,
Silhouette, yeah. most well known one.
Yeah.
Because Silhouette is basically the theme for every single situation.
Yeah.
So
I also
me,
enjoy
go on.
Ending theme for Isekai Quartet.
Isekai Quartet. Oh yeah, it's the one where like all the bunch of them.
Yeah, it's the characters. Yeah, it's catchy. It's very catchy.
Very catchy. Even the OP, if I remember, is by a bunch of the voice actors also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. Like when they have these series where like the seiyus, they sing the OPs and EDs.
Yeah, but I guess it's also carry forward from like at least from Konosuba.
Konosuba, yes, they did the ED, I think, and OP.
Yeah,
I'm not. I know they definitely did the ED. That was very sweet, very catchy also. But yeah, from the big ones that I've watched, you of course have like I think on Titan they brought back Linked Horizon again for like the
as usual.
And they basically rehashed both the first and second season's opening. It was okay.
So it's Guren no Yumiya and Jiu no Tsubasa mixed together.
They took themes from it, mixed it. Okay, yeah, so it was great.
Something to follow up with from Sasage.
Exactly. For One Punch Man,
Jam Project again.
Jam Project again.
But I don't think it was like it's not the problem is not the song, it's the animation.
It's not the song.
The animation is very boring.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's like just a lot of like they just throw all the characters everywhere. Like just show you a bunch like one whole group of characters here, one group of characters there, and then they have like this character showing up then with his or her name over there. It's like it's just very like
very lazy.
Very lazy opening.
And also
I like the opening for Ao-chan, but that's about it.
Ao-chan. Oh,
that's the worst thing that you can say about anime. Like not the worst thing, but it's like the thing I like the most about the show is the OP. Hey, you know that is bad.
That's sad. Yeah, that's quite sad.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Just search out Wonderful Wonder by Edoga Sullivan and just don't have to watch it.
For all those the Lisa lovers out there, she did the OP and she was featured in the ED for Kimetsu no Yaiba. So if nothing, you can just listen to the songs if you don't want to listen to.
I might check out Kimetsu no Yaiba. Yeah.
But yeah, Lisa definitely big name. Other than that, I don't think there are many other like big OPs, EDs.
Yeah, maybe Carol and Tuesday if any of us watched it, but none of us watched it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. But I think the standout ED for me is at least Sarazanmai.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
And it's quite cool. It felt like the at least for the ending theme, like the animation seems like it's like semi-real, realistic. So I think like they put the characters like in a real life situation. It's like you see like a rainy road. It's like it's definitely like real, but you see like the character standing there and like the shadow on it. Kind of
Oh, okay, that's
very
cool.
cool.
So like the background is real, but then you like superimpose the characters, the anime characters on like okay,
yeah, that's cool.
I get-
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I guess are we done with OPCDs?
Yeah, I'm done. Nat, have anything else?
Nothing else to say.
Okay.
Then we can move on to like the last section where we will discuss what shows from the next season or like the season that's gonna start that has like already started summer 2019. Like what are we like gonna watch, or what do we wanna like what are we interested in watching essentially? So why don't we start with maybe Greg can go first.
Okay. So for me, I've already started on a few shows this season. Like I'm looking at the number 1 series here, Dr. Stone. I have never heard of Dr. Stone before this, but I know that the fan base is really, really huge. For those who don't know about it, Dr. Stone is about the world set like maybe I think it was 3,000 years in the future where everyone was frozen in stone. Everyone in the whole world was put in stone, and
it starts Stone Age, not Ice Age.
Yeah, that's basically one of the jokes in the show. It was a Stone Age, so everything is reset. After 3,000 years, all the buildings, everything crumbles, and then slowly people are emerge from the stone, and they are trying to get humanity back to where it was.
That does sound pretty cool. Like I get a lot of, I don't know, like looking at the poster, I get a lot of like Main Abyss vibes. Yeah, that's just the aesthetic alone. Probably a very different story, but yeah.
It's from what I've seen so far, I think I'm on episode 2 or 3 right now. It's much more lighthearted than Made in Abyss. But I thought Made in Abyss was lighthearted
at first, right? Based on that poster,
yeah. So yeah, I could be wrong.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. The other one I'm watching is Einen no Shobotai. I don't know what the English is.
Firefighter
thing. Yeah.
Oh, it's David Production. That's the studio that does JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's anything like that, maybe you can watch it. No, but it's probably not. It's more shonen-esque type. You have like the main character who has a troubled background, and then now he's joined this group of people to like save the day, stuff like that. But the animation is really, really very crisp. I've never heard of David Production before this. But now that you say they made JoJo, I don't know if JoJo is known for like.
Yeah, the animation for JoJo is fantastic. It's
fantastic. Yeah. Okay. So if you're a fan of JoJo, maybe you can just watch this as well.
JoJo
if you like
Firefighters.
JoJo Firefighters. Yeah, maybe that's it.
Okay, then moving on.
Moving on, I'm not sure if it's on the list here, but it's the show where it's a guy and he finds a little demon child.
Yeah, it's there.
Is there what's the name of it? I don't know the English name.
It's the Uchi no Ko no Tame.
Okay, Uchi no Ko. All right, that one I watched that.
The English one is If It's For My Daughter.
If It's For My Daughter. Okay. So If It's For My Daughter, that one.
Oh man, it's one of those long ass light novel titles.
You have to like scroll down this. Man. But this one is really, really lighthearted. It's according to the tag, it's slice of life fantasy.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Or is it just because of
the title? Oh my god, the title is literally for the sake of my child, I might defeat the demon. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay.
And so I don't know if this is spoilers, but so far there's like no defeat the demon lord thing happening yet. It's mostly just interactions with the main guy who found this little demon girl in the forest, and he decided to adopt her and then bring her back to this tavern where he has all his friends, and then their relationship blossoms from there. So if you're into these kinds of like chill slice of life kind of series, that maybe there's going to be a twist later on, I hope so, then you can try and watch this. But yeah, that's basically the big 3 things that I'm watching this season. So what about you guys?
Now you can go first.
Okay, I've not started, but I have quite a number that's planned to watch. Most of them are because as usual, I've seen the manga or read the novel.
Mm-hmm.
So at least looking from in terms of the popularity, there is Arifureta.
Arifureta. Oh, I heard it's not very good. Like the
I mean,
animation.
no.
do you mean the anime or
No, the animation. The anime.
Okay.
I mean, I have not seen it, but in general, I enjoy the novel.
Yeah, cause like some of my friends were talking about it. Cause the original like adaptation for Arifureta got delayed, right? Because the light novel's author was unhappy with the animation. Like he said, it was not good.
Oh dang!
Yeah, so like it got pushed back so that they could improve on it, and then like it started airing this season, and it's still not good. Yeah, like it's not as bad as like it originally was apparently, but it's still not good.
I mean, I think that's not the only one. So like the other one that I've read was Mao Sama Retry.
Okay.
Apparently, I'm being told that the graphics are very low effort.
So like what?
Ooh.
The graphics are very low effort.
Oh, low effort.
Okay.
Yeah. But same as usual, I've read the even if it's for my daughter, I will even defeat the demon lord. I've also read Dumbbell. I think that's
Dumbbell. Dumbbell's like it's like a meme show.
It's the meme show for this
show
season. Yeah.
I've read Tejina Senpai.
Okay.
And Isekai Cheat Magician.
Cheat Magician. Nice.
And Kawaii Kareba Hentai.
Wait, what? What is okay. 可愛ければ変態でも好きになってくれ。
What the heck?
I mean, basically, he's in the club and he receives a letter, but he doesn't know who gave the love letter. So it's basically him trying to find out.
Okay. It's one of these harem shows again.
And I mean, generally is mostly just for the art for me.
It looks nice. The art looks nice.
There's the second season for Karakai JoJo no Karakai.
I watched a few episodes of season 1.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually not too bad. Like it's one of those shows where it's like very lighthearted, very fluffy. Yeah, where basically it revolves around how Takagi, the girl who's on the poster, like she every episode is about her playing pranks on the guy. Yeah, and they have a very like nice sort of dynamic between them, so it's very fun. Like it's not.
Sweet.
I actually prefer the spin-off. So when they're adults.
Oh, is it? I didn't know
there's
a
spin-off.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
The original one, because I feel like there's too much teasing in the first one.
Okay.
There's one show for summer 2019 that I've not like seen it anywhere else, but the synopsis was interesting, which was like the Araburu Kisetsu no Tomedo.
Oh wow, never heard of that.
What's that?
Yeah, I never heard of that either. So, but I think the synopsis looks quite interesting. It's about those girls in high school. So I think it's gonna be.
Oh shit! Okay,
how do you spell it?
Sit down. Girls in high.
Araburu Kisetsu no Tomedo.
Araburu no Kisetsu. Oh my God,
High School Literature
Savage
Club.
Season.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But actually, my most hype for summer is actually not even Japanese.
Oh, it's not even Japanese?
The two that I'm most hype is the two animations for the Chinese novels.
The Chinese?
Wow.
Do you know?
高手.
Yeah, 全职高手 is my number
my
one. And my
goodness.
second is 多波长
Oh, okay.
多波长琼. Yes.
Wow.
My goodness.
So the King's Avatar and Fight Break Spear, Battle Through the Heavens, basically.
All right.
So
I've not seen.
I don't know anything about these.
Okay, the King's Avatar is really, really
Avatar.
nice.
Yeah.
Very.
I've seen the first season.
You should definitely see.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen the extra OVAs also.
You have like the Chinese Kirito, the Chinese Asuna. Everybody's there.
But more likable.
Yeah, it's more likable. It's definitely.
Well, what's
more
Kirito in Chinese? Like 鸡里头.
And for Battle Through the Heavens is mostly because it's quite faithful to the novel and the manga. I just want to see animated like this. And plus each episode is actually very, very quick. No, it's actually they say it's 20 minutes per episode. But like for the first two seasons, they were like each one was very short, and
Mhm.
I'm just hoping to see more of what I've read already so far animated. Basically. But it's
Cool,
quite,
cool.
I do enjoy Chinese protagonists much more than Japanese protagonists.
Oh,
Okay.
dang. Okay,
They're
interesting.
just because they're just less better, I guess.
Less what? Meta?
Beta.
Better.
Beta. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I get what you mean.
They're
Hmm.
just they just feel like they're stronger and they have a stronger will, you know. Like they
Okay.
really do what they intend.
Maybe it's something to do with like pandering to the different kind of audiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
not too
I've seen a
sure.
lot of like that kind of situation, especially because I read a lot of articles from be
Like
it
from China,
Korean or
okay.
Chinese or Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
I can see like the Japanese, they really like having setbacks,
Okay.
you know. But
Hmm.
for the Chinese one, like sure they have this problem, but they'll somehow find a way through. They
That's
won't
actually
have
very
like
interesting. Okay.
they don't really have too much down. I feel like Japanese is just too down, up, down, up, down, up.
Hmm. Okay.
Like I don't know. Have you ever watched ISU 21?
No.
No.
What's that?
Yeah,
What's
no.
that about?
It's a pretty old anime about rugby.
Rugby.
Oh,
okay.
ISU, is it? Oh, okay, I've heard of it.
Yeah, ISU 21. So like for me, I usually use that as the epitome of like the Japanese main character.
Oh wow.
It's like
So when it's really about
basically main
setbacks.
character is like has this high, gets depressed because of a setback, gets high again, managed to overcome it, then gets another setback, gets depressed, and somehow overcomes it again. So it's like there's just too many of these ups and downs. Yeah. What about you, Gideon? Have anything from summer?
Yeah. I don't think like I have anything like very.
Not even Accelerator.
I didn't actually watch. Unfortunately, I never watched
you
that
don't watch
Toaru,
it.
yeah. But
I neither did I.
like there's nothing that like that really stands out a lot to me. But shows that I am, but there's stuff I'm interested in. So like I think the first one looking at this list is probably Vinland Saga. Yeah, just because it's a very famous manga. Like her is very
which studio?
it's about Vikings and stuff like that. It's very like very brutal and stuff like that. Sounds like sounds like sort of an adventure epic to me. So I like the idea of it. I tried reading the manga once, but I didn't get past chapter 1.
Okay.
Don't think it's the manga's fault though. It's more like wasn't in the mood.
Has any of us watched Danmachi?
Yes, I watched season 1.
Half of the first season.
Will you watch the second season?
No. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Yeah. I rather watch SAO. It's my opinion of Danmachi. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that bad.
Yeah, it's not like like it's also a popcorn show like SAO, but I don't see a reason to watch the same thing.
There are other better popcorn shows to watch. True. As a whole for summer, you know, does it?
Yeah.
Like at first glance, do you feel it's more or less appealing to you than what we've been through just now? Spring. Yeah.
I think summer is less exciting for sure.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, there's like I said, there's no show that immediately stands out. Like say last season, like spring there's One Punch Man, there's Attack on Titan, and then
for me there's definitely more adaptations.
More adaptations? Okay.
Yeah.
Although I'm not as hyped as for all these as like when I knew like Reincarnation into a Slime was adapted.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna watch that one. Like not as hyped as that or Overlord, but I'm quite hyped for the King's Avatar, so there's that.
Okay. It's not even.
Yeah, it's not even. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's kind of sad because like we saw it like spring was less hyped than winter, and then now summer is like slightly less hyped than spring. Hopefully, it doesn't follow like. Hopefully, it's not a trend or anything.
I think it's fine. You can't always have every season with a lot of like.
That's true.
Yeah, shows look forward to. It's like sort of like downtime.
Yeah,
which is fine.
I just clicked on fall 2019, and I take back my words. Like it's not gonna follow that.
Oh yeah! Oh my god! Hero Academia 4, Psychopaths 3. Oh my god!
All the sequels.
Oh my goodness! Okay.
Oh yeah! Oh my god!
The thing is, most of these fall on to the success of the previous.
That's true.
Here there isn't much. Like you guys are not interested in the sequel to Danmachi. So like I guess like the first season didn't really catch you.
You're right.
Even though right now it has a high rating.
Okay, but it's still relatively early into the season.
Yeah, who knows
Maybe
what?
our opinions might change.
There's like Lord El Malloy's files, like case files also. Do y'all
I think
do y'all watch Fate Zero?
I did watch Fate Zero.
I did not.
Oh man. I guess it's a bit of a spoiler, but
Don't worry, I'm not really too interested.
Okay. Yeah, like you remember Waver from Phase Zero, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, this is
I just took that character and I remember him.
Yeah, like Lord El Malloy too is Waver.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah, this is after he grows up.
awesome.
Yeah, because it's based on like
okay.
it's like I think it's a novel or something that that explores like Waver's character, like and other stuff are like the fate stuff is always like super convoluted and confusing.
So this is counted as a Fate like spin-off.
Yeah, it's a Fate. It's under the Fate universe.
Oh, wow.
I think it got adaptation for also like figuring all this success essentially. Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh wow. Opening theme by Yuki Kajira.
Yeah.
A lot of big names here.
Yeah. It's Fate stuff pretty much. So probably check it out.
Yeah.
I mean we might get some memes and stuff from some of the
Yeah. I mean we got Dumbbell already, right?
Dumbbell, we have the Mamako. About the mom
Mamako, Isekai mom. Oh man, I actually really like the Isekai, like that artist who did the like you guys know that it's like based on it's a light novel, but like the art is from a pretty famous artist. That is
is it the demon?
Yeah, it's Pochi Goya, yeah. That's the demon, yeah. It's the demon. Yeah.
It's the demon's sister, right?
Same artist.
Yeah.
Ooh.
For which version of it though?
This is definitely the safe forward one.
Oh, okay.
My goodness.
But for the record, I think the anime wouldn't be that bad. I mean, given that.
I don't think it's like. I think it's like.
My mom is watching it.
Really switch off your brain sound anime when I look at it. Like, absolutely no serious appeal when I look at it. It's like I watch it because I have like nothing to watch.
It's like my mom watches that anime, so I think it's safe.
Like safe, in that sense, your mom would probably stop watching it if it became too weird.
Then again, my mom watches more anime than me. So.
Wait, what? That's awesome.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Should get your mom on the podcast.
Yeah,
one day.
Okay.
Man,
we'll get her to review this anime, I guess.
That's actually quite cool. Okay.
Okay, is there anything else you guys want to bring up?
Not for me.
For summer, nah. I guess I wouldn't. I mean, there are things that are interesting, but I don't think there'll be any of those that I will follow faithfully, like when it comes out straight away.
Okay.
I think maybe we can just let the season go, like progress, and then like we can know if we can like come back and talk about it once this season ends. Like summer season ends. Yeah. Okay, I think maybe it's a good point to end off our very first podcast.
All right, that's awesome.
So thank you guys for listening, and I don't know, it's probably going out on our new YouTube channel and whatever, and if you guys happen to listen to it and have any like feedback, just feel free to let us know. It's fine, like if it's criticism or whatever, like we want to look on how to improve, and thanks like Greg and Nat also.
Greg for coming.
Thank you everyone. Thank you Nat.
Trying to get this out.
Yeah, thanks for coming on for our first try at this, and hopefully this will go well, and we can I hope that you guys who are listening to this can hear from us again. Okay, thanks guys.